You know, Joan Rivers always taught me in life when you have problems, you can either A, get angry about them, cry about them, or laugh about them. And I choose to laugh about my problems. And I struggle with Tourette syndrome, as a lot of you know. I'm constantly hitting the back of my neck. The other day, my niece was saying, Rio, why are you constantly hitting the back of your neck? And I just had to explain to her what Tourette's was. The other day, a lady at the bar was asking me the same question, and she was a bartender. I said, oh, this was Morse code. I was hoping you would get me another drink. See, that's a little comedy there. It's always good to have a friend with Tourette syndrome so you have someone to laugh at. Laugh with. And I always tell people having Tourette syndrome has its bad points, but it also has its good points as well. For example, when I'm on the train, no one wants to sit beside me because everyone thinks I'm on drugs because I'm always hitting myself or making a sound. Thinking about that, maybe I should sue 60 Minutes. And a lot of people like to try and impress me going, oh, there's a football player with Tourette syndrome. A guy from England was telling me there was a sportsman in Manchester who got in a lot of trouble, or they gave him heck for having Tourette's. And another lady told me on American Idol there was a guy with Tourette syndrome, and it's like, I know about all these famous people with Tourette's because everyone's telling me about them. And that's another thing about being LGBT. If you're gay or bisexual, or if you have a friend that is, I always hear the same thing. Well, I'll never discriminate against you. Really, do you want to know about Peace Prize? Do you tell your black friends you're not going to be racist, or your female friends you're not sexist? Like, seriously, if you're homophobic and you don't like gay people, we're not friends. You're going to miss out on the best friends in the world. I always say that you have the right to be friends whoever you want to be with it. No one's forcing you to be my friend. And you don't have to tell me you're not homophobic. Same thing with David Harris. I'm going to post his video down below. He's a black Republican Trump supporter. He's talking about how everyone's trying to impress him by posting a black square, and they're trying to apologize what their grandparents did. And that's not how it works. If you're not a racist, you don't have to prove it. If you're not homophobic, you don't have to prove to me you're not homophobic. Don't post a rainbow thing or I love gay friends, blah, blah, blah. That's not doing anything for me. I'm sorry, it isn't. If you want to be my friend, you're my friend. If you don't want to be my friend, we're not friends anymore. I have lots of friends who are straight and gay, etc. And people, we just want to be treated with the same respect as everyone else. It doesn't matter if they're in a wheelchair. It doesn't matter if they're blind. It doesn't matter if they're deaf, black, Asian, a different religion, as long as they're not those crazy Scientologists. As long as you're not an asshole, we can be friends. Like, you don't have to know my culture, etc., or things about my disabilities. One of my friends, she was saying she doesn't usually date white guys, but she was dating a white guy that was more Asian than her, and she's Korean. And she said the first thing was when she got to his house, he had all these Asian things, and he spoke 3 or 4 different Asian languages, and she found it very annoying. And that's the same thing when I'm hanging out with people who don't have Tourette's. They're always talking about my Tourette's. And I was talking to one of my Jewish friends. She says the same thing. It's like, we just want to be in the club. And just ignore that aspect. Treat me with the same respect you treat yourself, unless you're one of those people who like to cut themselves, then treat me better than how you treat yourself, basically. Well, that's all I want to say on that topic.